Good morning. This is going to be a short video, but yesterday I was thinking about how a lot of people just repeat stuff in institutional churches a lot, and they don't really think about what's being said, and they end up just repeating something that's like wrong, and a lot of people just don't question it. And the particular thing that I was thinking about yesterday was all the times I heard, both in churches in person and just hearing preaching online and stuff over the years, of basically that if you don't get such and such sin out of your life, that, you have to get such and such sin out of your life to be able to preach the gospel right, or else you're going to ruin your testimony. Okay? And a lot of people are big on that. They're like, oh, if you don't live a good life or whatever, if you don't keep your grass short, and you live in some suburban neighborhood and your grass is long, well, then nobody's going to want to hear the gospel from you because you're just going to ruin your testimony. Look, your testimony is how Jesus Christ died for your sins, and that you're a sinner and Jesus Christ saved you, okay? He died for your sins, was buried, and rose again on the third day. You can't ruin that, okay? You also have eternal security as a believer, so how in the world could you ruin that? You can't. But the message that these people give, it makes it confusing, because they believe in this thing called lifestyle evangelism. That somehow you're just going to do all these good works and people are going to think you're a good guy or something, and then they're just going to fall on their knees and say, "Sir, what must I do to be saved?" And they're just going to ask you that just because you keep your grass short or something. Or because you wear a tie on Sunday. And look, Jesus Christ saves sinners. He saves imperfect people. And you being more authentic in that, and be genuine about that, that has way more power than you trying to play some character and pretend like you're perfect in front of people when you're not. Okay? And also, I've run into quite a bit of unbelievers in my life where they thought that basically that they thought that they were too imperfect or sinful to be a Christian. And where did they get that idea? They got it from idiots that preach lifestyle evangelism, okay? And the Turner Bird crowd. And the so-called people that preach grace and then immediately turn it into works, and that make it a confusing message. I like to call them grace shippers, where they, maybe they can preach the gospel once in a while, but they basically want you to live like a Lord shipper. And that confuses the unbeliever, okay? And look, knowing that we're imperfect and that we're sinners, yet that God still loved us, and saved us, and that He also entrusts us, imperfect people, to give the gospel to others. I mean, look, God said you're qualified to preach the gospel if you're saved, okay? He made you an ambassador for Jesus Christ. He bestowed upon you the ministry of reconciliation, and he trusts you. That should be enough. You shouldn't be obsessed with trying to make people think that you're perfect, because then you're just living a lie. Look, if you smoke cigarettes, you can preach people the gospel, okay? If you got mustard on your shirt, you can preach people the gospel. If you drop an F-bomb once in a while, you can still preach people the gospel. Okay? If your grass is long, you can still preach people the gospel. If you stutter, you can still preach people the gospel. If everybody around you thinks you're a wreck, you tell them by the grace of God, okay? And you start preaching them Jesus Christ and Him crucified. Right? You tell them I'm a wreck, but Jesus Christ still loves me. And if He can love me, this wretched sinner, then of course He loves you, and you preach Him Jesus Christ and Him crucified. Good morning.